I know you've heard of an ice cream sandwich before, but have you ever heard of sandwich ice cream? I'm using an Italian hoagie and I'm blending it up with a little bit of heavy cream, only 2 ingredients, some baked beans and some chocolate. My technique was pretty good on this one. But yeah, no, it wasn't that bad.
Oh, TikTok. An app that has taught me, if nothing else, that you can get famous for absolutely anything. Basically, if you can put it into some form of media, there's a chance. Now, as we've discussed before on this channel, sometimes that can be a good thing, and others, maybe not so much a good thing. Now, obviously, this is rather subjective, what is and what isn't worthy of being seen by millions of people, but one thing I hope we can all agree on is that nobody on the planet, no human being, should be subjected to having to watch the recipes by the TikTok account Calabro's Kitchen. And when I say nobody should have to watch them, I actually mean that everybody should have to watch them. Gotcha, didn't I? Now, I don't say that everybody should have to watch them because they're gonna make you happy or they're gonna be good for your health. Quite the opposite, actually. I say everybody should have to watch them because they hold a valuable lesson. Not everything needs to be turned into a recipe. Over the last year or so, we have seen a lot of recipes on TikTok that should have died in the kitchen. The people making the recipe should have had to sign an NDA on the spot, and that recipe should have never made it into the public eye. Sadly, our government is not worried about the real issues, so this hardly ever happens. And then we get viral videos on TikTok teaching millions of school children how to create things like Rice Krispie hot dogs. But the Calabro's Kitchen has come to the rescue because they are making the most vile recipes ever seen by humanity, and I think it might actually be deterring people from following suit. Now, if you've watched a lot of my TikTok cooking videos, this is the same guy who made the Leaf Wellington, so we're in for a ride. But before we begin, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, the Ridge Wallet. Now, the Ridge Wallet is the big daddy of wallets, or really, I maybe should call it the small daddy, because this bad boy is minimalistic. Are you tired of carrying around a big, bulky wallet like I used to be? Well, fret no longer, my friend. The Ridge Wallet is a sleek, minimalistic wallet that can hold up to 12 cards and still has room for cash. So, you know, everything a giant tri-fold wallet can do, except it won't take up your entire pocket. And Ridge won't just save you pocket space when it comes to your wallet, they also have the key case. It removes the jangle and the dangle of a normal keychain and gives you convenience and security. And you can get both of these things right now, and you'll get the best offer with the link ridge.com/theduck. And right now you can save up to 40% through December 22nd. So don't wait and visit ridge.com/theduck and show your poor pockets some mercy. Once again, I want to thank Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this video. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
I know you've heard of an ice cream sandwich before, but have you ever heard of sandwich ice cream? It's only 2 ingredients really, ice cream and a sandwich.
We are hardly 10 seconds in and I'm already ready to gouge my eyes out. Now before somebody comments this, because I know somebody's going to, yes, I'm aware that all of the recipes on this account are purposefully bad. That does not change the fact that I'm still personally disturbed that they existed at some point.
I'm using an Italian hoagie and I'm blending it up with a little bit of heavy cream until it became a nice sandwich slurry. I then mixed it with some vanilla ice cream. Hindsight, I probably should have just used the ice cream to blend it with instead of the heavy cream. But anyway, this had like a weird texture. There was still some meat chunks and cheese chunks. And I threw it in the freezer until it stiffened up a bit. As you can see, I was impatient, it was a bit soft. But anyway, I scooped out a little scoop of the ice cream and then I added some extra virgin olive oil and some Italian seasoning to go along with the Italian hoagie theme. And I gave it a taste and honestly it doesn't taste that bad.
Yeah, there's not a single chance I will ever believe that. But one thing I actually respect about this guy that I never see any of the other bad cooking accounts do is that he actually eats what he creates. You know, he puts an end to what he brings into this world, you know, like a animal mother eating their young. Is that too dark for a TikTok cooking video? Yeah, okay, noted.
Only 2 ingredients, some baked beans and some chocolate. Start off by making a double boiler and then add in your chocolate. I'm using dark, milk chocolate is disgusting. And you want to get that nice and melty and then start pouring it into a silicone mold and move it around like this so it gets on all sides. I did this for about 3 layers of chocolate, and as you can see, the silicone mold peels away from the chocolate easily. So now it's bean time, and I'm going to fill her up with a couple scoops of beans, and then I'm going to add a nice layer of chocolate on top to seal it all off.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to have to stop you right there. You see, you called this the cursed kitchen, and really that's just taking it a bit too far, man. I thought you were just kind of doing this as a joke, but this is just kind of offensive. I mean, this is just a normal dessert in Britain, and you're going to call it cursed? That's just not cool.
And then that goes back in the freezer to chill. And then after about 30 minutes or so, you get this nice peanut butter cup. I went ahead and took a nice bite out of it, but I think I made the chocolate shell a bit too thick because everything just gushed everywhere. Tell you what, I think my technique was pretty good on this one. But yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. Definitely wasn't the worst thing I've tried.
I'm starting to become convinced this guy just has no taste buds. Another thing I like about this guy is that he's a genuinely good cook. Like, I've watched my fair share of the Great British Baking Show, so I know a good chocolate shell when I see one, and that one's pretty nice.
I'm gonna show you how I make my childhood favorite cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, oops, all shrimp tails. Start by rinsing off your shrimp and then detaching the tail from the shrimp body. Then mix together some cinnamon and sugar to make cinnamon sugar. And then you want to bread your shrimp tails first in some flour and then into some egg and then back into some flour so they look all nice and coated like this.
Oh, how lovely. Right when I was beginning to forget about this whole fiasco, you brought it right back to the front of my mind. I'm a pretty big fan of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I haven't had it in forever, but the next time I do, I bet you I'll be thinking of this. By the way, if you have no idea what this video is referring to, like early 2021, this guy found like 6 fried shrimp tails in his Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So the next time you go to the grocery store and you're thinking that the cereal prices are a bit too high, just know that you might get some complimentary seafood.
And then some hot oil, just fry your shrimp tails until they're golden brown like this. And then just drop them in a bowl, sprinkle on some of your cinnamon sugar, give them a little tossy toss. Then pour some milk into a bowl and then add in your shrimp tails into the milk. Then you have my favorite Cinnamon Toast Crunch, oops, all shrimp tails.
I genuinely have not progressed past this point yet. If this guy actually eats this, we need to get like a case study going ASAP.
I fished one out just to give it a taste. And you know what? It honestly just tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's just the cinnamon and sugar, a little bit crunchy. Some of the shell doesn't like crisp up all the way and it gets stuck in your teeth, but like, it's okay.
Alright, so I'm not entirely sure where this guy is located, but whoever is the head of government in the country that this guy lives in, y'all need to keep an eye on this guy. Anybody who can eat a Cinnamon Toast Crunch deep fried shrimp tail in milk cannot be safe to be let around the public. This man is like a real life supervillain.
I'm sure you've heard of chicken nuggets, but have you ever had a Nick and Chug It? If you've been following me for some time, you know that this is an inside-out chicken nugget. I'm using some panko breadcrumbs, some rendered chicken fat, an egg, salt, pepper, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, and a little bit of heavy cream, and mixed it all together. And then I put it on some plastic wrap and rolled it up into a little Nick and Chug It log, and then threw it in the freezer to chill for about 30 minutes. After about 30 minutes, it's set up, so then I cut it into little chicken nugget shapes.
Alright, so far, this should be the best one, right? It's not combining anything too offensive. I mean, it's just flipping a chicken nugget inside out, so this should be fine, right? I don't know.
For the outer part of the Nick and Chug It, I am blending together an egg, heavy cream, and a chicken breast. You get a chicken breast slurry like this, and I add some flour, some seasonings, and some baking powder. Whisk it together with some heavy cream, and then dip your Nick and Chug Its in there, and then fry until golden brown. And there you have some golden brown and crispy Nick and Chug Its. Just like everything I make on my TikTok, I obviously have to give this a try. And honestly, it's not that bad. It kind of tastes like normal chicken nuggets a bit, a little bit more fried flavor, but like, I would eat a whole plate of this if I was drunk.
Alright, I kind of want to retract my previous statement. I don't know what it is about this, but it's making me feel gross. Something about biting into meat and then having the crunchy on the inside. I don't like it. I don't know what it is. I guess it just doesn't fit into my idea of what food should be. I thought this would be fine, but I don't think it is.
So I know summer's almost here and you're trying to eat healthy, but you should take this as a sign to finally make those chocolate chip spamookies you've always been wanting to make. It all starts with your favorite World War II era canned meat called Spam. All you have to do is slide it out of a can and cut your pieces small enough to be able to put in the middle of cookies. It's very important to sear your Spam and try to get most of the fat out so you don't get very oily cookies.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm worried about when I'm making Spam cookies. I'm worried about the oil content, not the, meat content in my cookie. Thanks for the warning.
And then you have to make your cookie dough. I'm using very cheap Betty Crocker cookie dough, but you could be as bougie as you want. And then I rolled up some of the cookie dough, smushed it in my hand, and then placed it on the cookie tray, and then put a piece of Spam on top of that, and then some more cookie dough on top of that. And then I baked them in the oven, and then they spread out a lot, so I used the ring mold to make some uniform cookie shapes. And there you have some gorgeous chocolate chip spamookies. The cross section of this cookie is very interesting. When you split it open, you see a nice pink little meaty center.
Guys, I'm a bit torn here. On one hand, this is absolutely disgusting and it should be punishable by life in prison. On the other hand, however, those chocolate chip cookies, you know, ignoring the meat, look rather insane. I'm not normally a big cookie guy, but when it comes to a good, gooey chocolate chip cookie, there's nothing better. So sadly, I must admit, I think I would actually try this against my better judgment. Well, what do you guys think? If you had to try a single recipe from this video, which one would it be? I think behind the cookies for me would be the chicken nugget thing. Even though it still kind of grosses me out, the other ones, there's just no redeeming. You couldn't pay me to try sandwich ice cream. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.
Subscribe.